So here what I want to tell you is we have seen missing data, data cleaning, missing values, or what are the problems due to missing values. Now we will go to the missing data types, correct? So this missing data type can be classified into three types depending on the pattern or data that is absent in the data set. So what are these three types? Missing completely at random, so which is my MCAR, correct? So when the probability of missing data is unrelated to the precise value to be obtained or collection of the observed answer. So this is at completely random, correct? Then I have a missing at a random, which is my MAR value. So this MAR is when probability of a missing responses is decided by the collection of observed responses rather than the exact missing values expected to be reached. So, whatever observed values we have, if we analyze them collectively, we will be able to feel these missing values, right? So that is my missing at a random. And missing not at a random में क्या है? See, other than above these mentioned categories. So this is my missing not a random is a missing data. So in this missing not a random data cases are a like it is very difficult to deal with. They are pain to deal with, right? So modeling the missing data is the only way to get a fair approximation of the parameters in this situation, correct? So now let us see the causes and its solution. So जब आपके पास MCAR है, what does it mean? Missing completely at a random. Missing completely at a random. इसमें क्या करेंगे हम? Directly deleting rows or the columns. Correct. When I have missing at a random, I will be doing the imputations of a data. What does it mean? Is a filling of a data. Correct. Now, what do you mean by imputations? This imputation and editing, these are two methods of data processing. Correct. Now, editing refers to the detection and correction of errors in the data. While my imputation is a method of correcting errors and estimating and filling in missing values in a data set. So here I correct errors and I estimate and fill the missing values. Correct? So where there are errors in the data set, when these are considered to add no value in the correction process, these values are set to missing and are imputed with the plausible estimate, correct? So why do we need to do these imputations? Again, because we want to avoid the missingness or erroneous values in the quality data sets, and that's the reason we do the imputations. So we have multiple imputations methods, so we will not go into detail of this. So imputation is correction of a data, correction of a missing value of a data. And when I have missing not at random, which I said it is a pain to deal with, or it is a problematic to deal with. These all things will be corrected by improving the data set, by finding that data, correct? So this is how I will be looking into the technical part of the missing values, and there are different categories, and then how to deal with that categories that we have seen now. So there are different types to deal with the this missing values. So I have the columns with missing values fall into the different categories. So continuous variable or the feature. So there are some numeric data set or the numbers which may be missing. So that is my continuous variables or the features. I have a categorical variables or the feature. So it may be numerical or the objective kind. इसका मतलब है कि आपके कैटेगरीज मिसिंग है, जैसे कि जेंडर में हमने देखा था मेल फीमेल, और जब भी कोई जेंडर नहीं है, सो वी हैव रिटन नो जेंडर. सो दीज आर द डिफरेंट कैटेगरीज. और आई कैन से द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स व्हिच विल बी पुअर, बेस्ट, एवरेज, लाइक दिस. So this these are the different categories, we can say, of the missing values to be handled. First is the continuous variable to be handled, and then we have the categorical variables to be handled. Now we will see this type of imputations. So imputations are available in a range of sizes and forms. So it's one of the approaches for resolving the missing data issues in the data set before modeling our application, correct? So we have these univariate imputations or the mean imputations, where the values are imputed using only the target variable, correct? Then I have the multivariate imputations. So impute values depending on other factors such as estimating missing values based on other variables using linear regression. तो हमने देखा interpolation, so that is my multivariate imputations, correct? Then I have the single imputation. To construct a single imputed data set, only impute any missing values once inside the data set. So that is my single imputation. And then I have the numerous imputations, so imputations of the same missing values multiple times inside the data set. So this is essentially entails repeating a single imputation to obtain the numerous imputed data sets. So this is how I will be handling. See, we have seen this missing values in our first half of the session, and now we are looking at the same thing which we have seen in the first half of the session, but with more technical information, correct? I am dealing the same thing I'm doing, but with the more technical information. I call this method as an imputation, and I will be looking how do I do the imputation with the missing values, correct? So let us go to our data set. So here I will be going to my collapse window again, and I will be looking into how to deal with the missing values. So let us go and deal with the missing values. So initially, first the thing is I need to find out the data set from the Kaggle. So if you try to print a data set in the Kaggle, see, if I try to do a data set academic performance data set for missing value. So I will be having this Kaggle dataset. So if I try to open the Kaggle dataset over here, we can see that this is what about my Kaggle. So let it get open. So this is what is my Kaggle page looks like. Here I have the students academic performance data set. It has see, it has given the size of the data set also, that is 38.02 KB, and then I have the multiple number of columns. So I have the 17 columns in this data set, which we can see here. So here the summary of the file is, there is one file and which is having 17 columns, correct? So this is all about my how to read the data set from the Kaggle, correct? Now I can go and download this data set from here, or this download button, or I can access it directly from the notebook also. But for the same purpose, first I have to sign into this. Now I've already seen this data set, but the problem with this data set, you can see here, this the edu data is my data set from the Kaggle. You can see here, this is my edu data. But the problem with this data set, which I found, is there is no missing value in this data set. So I will not be using this. This is just only to show you like how to search the data set on a Google, how to get the data sets from the Kaggle. Kaggle is the repository which is having the standard data sets. What does it mean is these data sets are already used by multiple researchers, and they have given their observations, and these data sets are used in multiple methods also. So these data sets from the Kaggle are called well-known standardized data sets. So whenever you are going for any of the research, people will always ask you, have you used the standard data set? Then or benchmark data set. So if you want to answer yes for these questions, you are supposed to use the data sets which are already used by researchers, and the Kaggle is a repository which gives you these data sets which are already used by the researchers. I hope this is clear with all of you. Now the next part which I want to tell you is to go with this missing dataset values, which are, so there are multiple datasets available in the net academic performance dataset, but no dataset is useful for the missing values because all the datasets are full-fledged with all the values available. So I tried to convert the dataset I tried to convert the data set, and so for converting the data set for our purpose, what we have to do is we have to insert the missing values in a data set. So I have done that in this my academic performance .csv. If you want to see, you can see this academic performance .csv. Over here, you can see there are some empty values. You can see in the data set, there are few empty values in the data set. Correct. And even this data set is having one of the categorical column also, which is my PhD column, which is having yes or no values. And even there are missing values in yes or no also. So this data set is also created by me, because even this academic performance data set was complete field data set. And as I want to study with the missing values, I have manually deleted some data from the column. Okay, so here I will try to get that CSV file. Here you can see that there are NaN values in the age and PhD, right? And now one by one we will try to do the analysis with the data set. Correct. So this is my data set of academic performance. So first I will see the shape or the dimensions of the data set. Okay, let me do this. So this is my df.shape. So I will be finding the, so it is having 100 rows and 5 columns in the data set. So this is what is my data set is. Now I want to check if there are any missing values in the data set. Correct. I want to check if I have some missing values in a data set. So what I will do, I will try to print df dot is null, right? What does this is null do? Is null is going to give me if there is any missing value, and then I want to sum it all. So I want to know the number of missing values in my data set. Have you understood the functionality of sum of it? So I want to know the number of missing values in my data set. So here the column roll number is not having any null value. Marks, gender, these are also not having any null value. The age column is having the 16 null values, and PhD column is having the 13 null values. So these are the number of null values in the column. Correct. Now I want to, now we will start handling this one by one. So the first part I can do is I can leave the values as it is. I may not try to disturb the values, right? So I will not do anything with it. Correct. The second way is drop the values, drop the rows if it is not in the use. Correct. I will be just dropping the rows over here. So we can see here. So for that purpose, what I will try to do, I will be having the df dot drop na, df dot drop na, and when I will do in place is equal to true. Can anybody tell me what does this in place equal to true do? So it is going to reflect into my original data set. So I will do print df dot is null, correct, df dot is null dot sum. So I want to print the sum of it. So let me print this. Let me execute this. So here you can see अभी age और PhD में एक भी null value नहीं दिख रहा है. Why? Because I have dropped all those rows which are having any of the null value. Correct? And when I do in place is equal to true, उसमें क्या होता है कि आपके वैल्यूज ओरिजिनल डेटा सेट में रिफ्लेक्ट होता है, आपका ऑपरेशन ओरिजिनल डेटा सेट में रिप्लेस होता है. करेक्ट. सो मेरे ओरिजिनल डेटा सेट के all rows which are having null values are dropped. So when I try to print it, is there any null and sum of it? So there is no null in any of the column. So there the sum has come as a 0. Correct. Now the next part I can do is by imputation by mean. But for that I have to again go and read my data frame first, because here I have made the changes in original data frame. So let me read it, and now the data frame is having NN. Data frame में आपने change किया है, CSV में नहीं. Data frame में change किया हुआ यहाँ पे. When I do in place is equal to, I make a change in a data frame, नॉट इन CSV. और डेटा फ्रेम में एक भी नल नहीं है और मुझे इसी नल वैल्यूज को एक्सेस करना है, इसीलिए अगेन आई एम रीडिंग माय CSV फाइल इन अ डेटा फ्रेम. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस. नाउ आई विल बी डूइंग imputation by mean. Now using this approach, we compute the mean of the columns, non-missing values, and then replace the missing values in each column separately and independently of others. Correct. The disadvantage of this is this can be only used with the numerical data, but this the advantage is it is very simple and straightforward method. Correct. So how to do this? So let us go to our coding part. अभी एज वाला जो है मेरा, एज में जो नॉट वैल्यूज है उसे मुझे मीन से रिप्लेस करना है. सो व्हाट आई विल से, डीएफ क्या, एज. करेक्ट. एज वाला कॉलम जो है आई वांट टू रिप्लेस विथ डीएफ एज. करेक्ट. डीएफ एज dot replace. So now what I am replacing? I am replacing this np.nan. np.nan. With what? np.nan is to be replaced with a df, again age का mean value, right? So I will be taking this mean of it, right? So this is what I try to do. So I am replacing the age ka value where I have this np.nan with a, see, this np.nan has given the error because I have not imported numpy. Correct. So I will be importing this numpy as np, and now this np error, यहाँ पे error दिख रहा था ना, that has been removed. So with that underline something, it shows me the error. So I will be try to print my data frame का age का value only, and I will be trying to print 10 rows, first 10 rows. Correct. So let me execute this. Correct. So here you can see यहाँ पे जो NaN था that is replaced with the mean of that age column. तो अभी कितने रोज थे मेरे रोज 100 थे. जितने 100 रोज में वैल्यूज है, all those values का mean I've calculated, and that mean is replaced with the not available value. So यहाँ पे जो fifth row था, which is my fourth row, you can say, because I've started with 0, where I have the NaN, which is replaced with 47.82, which is a mean of my column. Even at the row number 7, you can see the row number 7 ka value is also replaced with the mean of it. I hope this is understood. So this is called as imputation by mean, or imputation by central tendency of a data. Imputation is what? A replacing of my missing value. So this imputation is having the special meaning in my machine learning. So this word is specifically used in pre-processing part of a machine learning. So imputation by mean is imputation it's a method by which you change the missing value with the mean of that particular column. Now in a similar manner, I can change it with the median also. Again, what I will do, I will be replacing the age ka value with df, again age ka value as replace my np.nan comma df का age, डेटा फ्रेम के एज का मीडियन वैल्यू. So I will be replacing it with the median value, and then I will like to print the value. So printing the data frame with age. Correct. So here we can see that it is getting replaced. Let us see what outcome comes. So are you able to see it? Can you tell me whether, see, if you go and see this row number 4, even it has given the 47.82, here is also 47.82 and 7th row. Now I will tell you why it has not reflected or why. See, what is median? Median क्या होता है कि आपके सारे values you arrange it in the sorted manner and take the middle of value. That is my median of the column. Now this cannot be, the mean cannot be the mean. It happens in very few cases where my data is normally distributed. In that case only my mean is equal to median. But here I cannot say my data is normally distributed. Then why my values are not changed? Because here I have in my previous case, I replaced my age k values with the mean of it. I did the df of age, which is to be replaced with mean of it. Correct? So again, see, अभी मैंने replace किया है value, इसीलिए मेरे values अभी replaced values है, where I don't have the null values. So here I will be again importing my CSV. Correct? So मेरा data frame change हुआ अभी and now I will try to execute it with the median. Correct? And then you can see here my value has been changed. My median of a data is my 50. You can see, I will be giving you this data set. You can arrange the age ka column in ascending or descending value and your middle value will be 50. So my median is 50 and now I'm able to replace it the value 50. Correct? So this is what imputation by median. Correct? Now we will look into imputation by most frequent value, that is my mode. Correct? So mode क्या होता है? The value which is occurring most frequently in my data is my mode. Correct? So here also, as I am replacing it in my original data set, everything is getting replaced in my original data frame. So every time I have to read my data frame. And then see here you can see null values, and then I will be replacing with the mode. So here I won't type it again, just copy paste and do it with the mode. Correct? So here if you try to execute, it may not work correctly because it doesn't work directly with the mode. Here what I have to do is, for mode I have to import the package of statistics. The mode is not available with NumPy or pandas. For the mode I have to import the package of statistics. So stat. So I am importing this statistics packet, and then I will be saying df my age ka value, replace it with the df age value, dot replace, किसको replace करना है? np.nan, replace it with np.nan, comma, I am using this package statistics mode. किसका मोड देखना है मुझे? एज का मोड, राइट? तो मोड ऑफ एज. करेक्ट? एंड देन एज का मोड, मगर किसके एज का मोड? डेटा सेट के एज का मोड. करेक्ट? सो आई विल बी हैविंग इट df. Correct? And then I will try to print the df age, and then I want to print only first 10 rows of it. Correct? So let me execute this. So you can see that by using the statistic package and mode of statistic package, I have my mode of the data is 65. What does it mean? The 65 is a age which has appeared more frequently in my data set. What does it mean? Many of my students are having the age 65, correct? So this particular value is getting replaced over here, correct? Now we will see the imputation for categorical values. See, till now we have seen the imputation for numeric values. So moving ahead and looking for the imputation for the categorical values, correct? Now for missing values in the categorical, again we will try to import our original data set, because here, so let us, there won't be any problem because we will be handling this categorical data set on categorical value only. So here my PhD is the column which is having the categorical values. Categorical value क्या होते हैं, जिनके categories होते हैं, yes, no, और in the class also I have told you कि hair color, brown, white, black, blonde, even I have the results of your academics, that is second class, higher second class, first class, and like that. So here I have the categorical values, and then I will like to show you the data set of it, whether this data set is having any missing value. So data set is null dot sum, correct, is null dot sum. So I will be, so I have this HK 16 missing values and PhD, which is my categorical column, which is having the 13 as a missing values, correct? So now I will try to replace the missing value of this PhD, correct? So a simple solution is fill with the any random value. So in my data set, I have this DF, my column is my PhD, correct, which is equal to DF, correct, and which is I will be fill null values with say correct, and then I will try to print it. It will not be printed because everything I have filled over there, and then I will just try to again check the analysis of a data set. So if I try to check the analysis of a data set, we can see that this PhD categorical value has turned as 0. This PhD. So what does it mean? सारे null values जो थे PhD के, they all replaced with the NA. If I want to, if you try to check the frame, you can do this print df. So if I do this print df, now you can see इस category में u आ गया है. So जो कोई मेरा null value था, it's replaced with a value u over here. Correct? So here what I have seen the imputation for categorical values, the imputation of categorical value, correct? Now I want to do the imputation with last observed value or last observation carried forward, correct? So what I will try to do, see, we have seen in the previous case that we do the padding and we do the B fill. In a similar manner, we can do F fill also, a method of F fill. So it's very common statistical approach for analysis of longitudinal repeated measures data when some follow-up observations are missing, correct? So what I can do something like this. So again, I will go here. I will try to read my data frame. I will try to import my CSV file into data frame again. So say this data frame is my data set. I just change the name of it. So I have imported it in my data set, and I want to impute with the last observation carried forward, correct? So what I will try to do here, I will will try to fill it with the F fill value. So if I try to run this, age ke 0 aa gaye, and if I try to print it here, print my data set, my data frame ka name is dataset now. So if I try to print it, you can see NA ke value has been repeated. Age mein it is from the previous value. So F field, what does it do? It just carry forward my last observation. Just carry forwards my last observation. Understood all of you? Now I will see the imputation with interpolation. हमने देखा already interpolation, and again we will see why I'm emphasizing these things again and again, because you should remember it properly. So now I will look at the interpolation with a linear method. Correct. Now listen carefully. This interpolation linear method, I will paste the information here also. So this method is a method for the approximation of a missing values by joining dots in increasing order along a straight line. इसका मीनिंग क्या होता है कि आपका जो वैल्यू है उसके x and y axis पे you will try to plot the value, and then you try to find the line through it. And then once you try to find the line through it, whatever is missing, you will try to plot it on that with the linear values. So it calculates the unknown values in same ascending order as the values that came before it. Because the linear interpolation is a default method, we don't have to specify its value by utilizing it, correct? So let us see this interpolation method. Now again, as I have made the change in a data set, I will be trying to first import my CSV in my data frame as a data set, and now I will try to interpolate the value with the linear. See, this interpolation is the same as my imputation with the linear interpolation method. So here I try to use the method interpolate, where my method is linear. So I do the linear regression, and my limit of direction is forward and axis is 0. It means that I'm applying this on my rows. Correct. With this method, I have changed my age column. So now my missing values in age column A are 0. And if I try to print my data set, if I try to print my data set, you all can see my data set is printed here. So my values, missing values are interpolated with the linear regression method. Right. Similarly, I have the imputation by KNN method. I hope few of you have heard of this KNN method, or maybe knowing, because this is very famous method. Now this KNN is a famous classification approach, that is my K nearest neighbor. तो इसमें K nearest neighbor में क्या होता है कि nearest neighbor जो होते हैं उस value के, from that nearest neighbor के values, this value will be predicted. So we will directly go to the pandas method of this. So I will be trying to do with this for the categorical method. I will try to do this for the categorical method. Okay, categorical values. So let me go back to my code and so here my categorical variable is from dataset is PhD, and I get a dummies from that and drop first, and then do the we need to remove the normalize the data and category data we need to convert it. तो पहले क्या करते हैं हम लोग? First we will try to do this. So this particular KNN method is a bit bigger method. I will show you a complete method at a time, so you will understand it in a much better way. Correct? So here I have used this sklearn library. Okay, so I will be using from sklearn, and then from sklearn I use this min max scalar. So this is bit difficult to understand at this moment, but just remember that we have moved this using KNN method. Correct? Here I use this KNN imputer. So I will be explaining this later on once we go to the KNN methods. Correct? Or the clustering methods. Then I have the imputations by multivariate, imputation by chain equation. This is also another method, which is a very big to understand. So we'll see it. We will not look into it now. Fine. So this is what I can say, that we have seen a bit technical part of the missing values and how to handle them with the imputation method. Correct. Now, even with this, we have the methods to do with the anomalies also, or you can say unexpected missing value. Say at some place, instead of this, we have seen previous method also. See, आपका जो ये data set था, let's go back to the data set. So this was my data set, academic performance data set, and suppose in between of this, see, at this categorical value, I have something like this 12. So this is not my right data value, right? In category, it should be either yes, no, or something which I have as a missing value. So let me check if it is reflected in my data set. So go back to our data set. I go to this academic performance.csv. So this may not be reflected. Let's just check. So it is not reflected. Okay. Just give me a second. What we are trying to do here, we are trying to handle the inconsistencies also. So okay. So let me try to pull it here in my data set. I have one more CSV. This is my -1 CSV, and over here we can see that my value has one of the value is 2, and then if I try to import it, what we are looking into inconsistencies in a data set, correct? So this is my -1 data set, and I will try to print the data set, and while printing the data set, see, you can see PhD में 12 आया है. So this is my inconsistency, right? Now I want to handle this inconsistency, correct? Now how do I handle this inconsistency? If I try to do it with is null, if I try to do it with the is null, just go and check data set and PhD. What I try to print is null. See, यहाँ पे क्या आया है? यहाँ पे false ही आया है, because it says that it is not null, correct? It says that it is not null, correct? And इसके बदले true आया है. So this is not handled as this is not handled as a null value, correct? So we have to treat this separately. This is what we can say unexpected value, right? It is a inconsistency in a data set, right? See this number 12, see this response should be either yes or no, but what we have got there, we have got there as a number 12. So what we will try to do, we will try to detect these anomalies, correct? We will try to detect these inconsistencies by writing a code for it, right? What code we will write? I will show you that code. So if that data set is having some inconsistency, I will try to replace it with the null value, correct? So inconsistencies can be handled, or the anomalies can be handled with the null value. So let me go back and write the code for this. Okay. Here, if in my data set, oh sorry, this is not age, this is my PhD, correct? PhD, and my data set is with this. So in my data set PhD, if I get some unexpected value, let it replaced with the null value, correct? So let us go back and check the statistics of it. So check whether it is, so see, that particular 12 value कहाँ पे था? 12 value row number 2 पे था, correct? अभी वो value I have changed to the null value, so it has come as 2. Even if I try to print it, print my data set. If I try to print my data set, यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, यहाँ NaN आ गया, null आ गया. क्या किया मैंने? जो कोई value है, right? If I will try to say, if there is an error in my data set, if there is unexpected value in my data set, correct? I will try to replace that value with null value. Now this particular was unexpected, 12 was unexpected because it was a categorical data set, right? So all were the Boolean values in my data set. So this categorical, a Boolean value data set, for the Boolean value data set, 12 is unexpected value, so it has changed to the unexpected value, and we have changed it to the NaN value, that is null value. Understood all of you? So this is how I do my handling. So what we are doing, again I will explain you what we are doing in this code. So let us go to the code and let us see what we are doing here. So here we are looping through each entry of PhD column and try to change the entry to an integer. So we are using int row, correct? क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग? इंटीजर को चेंज कर रहे हैं. If the value can be changed to the integer, we change the entry to the missing value using numpy nan. Correct? इंटीजर में चेंज हो रही है वैल्यू, तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं? उसको nan से रिप्लेस कर रहे हैं, करेक्ट? एंड इफ इट इज नॉट चेंज टू इंटीजर, वी कीप इट इज एज इट इज. सो हम पास यूज कर रहे हैं. पास का मीनिंग क्या है? वी आर स्किपिंग इट, वी डोंट वांट टू हैंडल इट विद एनीथिंग, सो वी जस्ट कीप गोइंग, वी जस्ट increase the counter for it. We can see that I have used here the try and except value error. So this is my exception handling to handle the errors over here. So if we try and change any entry into integer, it couldn't be changed, then my value error would be returned and my code will be stopped, correct? And to do this, to deal with this, actually I keep going over there, correct? तो इसका मतलब क्या हो रहा है? You can see over here one by one, मेरा जो categorical column है, categorical column is not at all a numeric value, correct? It is a categorical value. What I am trying to do, as I know कि PhD नाम का कॉलम मेरा कैटेगरिकल है और उसमें कुछ इनकंसिस्टेंसीज है. सो व्हाट आई विल ट्राई टू डू, आई विल ट्राई टू चेंज इनटू द इंटीजर वैल्यू. सो यहाँ पे क्या कर रही हूँ? इंट में कन्वर्ट कर रही हूँ, रो बाय रो एक एक वैल्यू को कन्वर्ट कर रही हूँ. जब कोई भी वैल्यू इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है, इसका मतलब वो इनकंसिस्टेंसी है, करेक्ट? क्योंकि मेरा यस या नो इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट हो सकता है क्या? नहीं. जब कोई नंबर वहां पे गलत सा लिखा हो तो ही वो इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट हो सकता है, करेक्ट? सो जो कोई नंबर गलत सा लिखा है वो इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है, तो उसके जगह पे मैंने नल वैल्यू डाल दिया है, nan डाल दिया है. अब जब भी whenever I am trying to convert नॉन इंटीजर वैल्यू इनटू इंटीजर, जैसे यस और नो नॉन इंटीजर वैल्यू, तो जो मैं इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट कर रही हूँ तो क्या हो जाएगा, एरर थ्रो हो जाएगा, वैल्यू एरर का, correct, and that's the reason I have used here try and exit block also. So whenever the error of value error is thrown, I will be just passing on. I am not going to do anything with that. I will be just passing on and just increasing the counter. This is just one of the logic to handle the inconsistencies of categorical variable or categorical column. I hope this is clear. So this is how I handle the inconsistency in the data set. This is how I handle the inconsistencies and missing values in the data set.